people were happy. A short story written and narrated by Robert Fairhead from the Tall and True writer's website. A long time ago, poverty, floods, droughts, famines and war blighted a pale blue planet. But the people endured the hardships and were happy. They believed life in the here and now and ever after was predetermined and fixed like the stars in the sky, and the people found solace and solidarity in their faith. But then something changed. Historians disagreed on precisely when it occurred or what triggered it, and instead of attributing the change to a single event wrought by natural disaster or by a foreign force, most conceded it was gradual. One theory was mechanisation caused a breakdown of cooperative effort. People no longer banded together to grow and harvest crops and build shelters and infrastructure. Now, one machine controlled by an individual did the work of many. Others claimed the advent of mass entertainment had torn the social fabric of society. Broadcasts and projections occupied people's attention, dulling their interpersonal skills and sense of solidarity. A third school of theorists blamed technology for separating people from the natural world and isolating them in virtual realities from the rest of the population. There were modernists, however, who embraced the change. Yes, they admitted, poverty still existed, as did cycles of flood, drought and famine, but advancements from mechanisation and technology alleviated disease and disaster. And while conflicts continued to rage, with increasingly mechanised and technological brutality, mass entertainment and virtual reality provided an escape from the grim news of death and destruction in far-flung parts of the planet. But even modernists privately admitted to sharing the traditionalist anxiety over the pace of the change. Some people numbed their fear and sadness with drink and drugs, or immersed themselves deeper into virtual reality, and others looked to the stars. But the once fixed waymarkers for life and beyond had long since been obscured by smog and light pollution. Ceasefires were declared worldwide, and a council of leaders, scientists and eminent persons convened to discuss and debate the problem and possible solutions. Modernist delegates argued a return to the past was impossible. The people could not unlearn mechanisation and technology, nor could they wean themselves from mass entertainment and virtual reality. Traditionalists accepted the change was here to stay, but setting resource consumption and renewable energy targets would slow the pace and give people time to adapt. However, scientists shocked the council with a stark prognosis. The planet had passed a tipping point. They could not halt the change, and people would not survive its accelerating effects. The council concluded the only hope was for a select few to leave the planet and populate a new home. And for the first time since the change, modernists and traditionalists banded together and used machines and technology to build and stock the rockets. It was a global cooperative effort, and when the people watched the rockets launch and fly through the smog towards the stars on mass entertainment screens and virtual reality devices, they were happy. Hi, I'm Robert Fairhead from Tall and True Short Reads and the Tall and True Writers website. In December 2021, the Australian Writers' Centre announced Furious Fiction was shifting from a monthly to a quarterly short story writing competition in 2022. The change was understandable, as Furious Fiction had grown in popularity and become a massive administrative task. However, like many long-term fans, I felt bereft. To help writers cope and keep their creative muscles twitching, the Writers' Centre launched First Friday Fixed emails for the off-quarter months with 50-word mini-story challenges, and I was honoured to be profiled as a Furious Fiction fan in their first fixed email in January 2022. I enjoyed crafting my 50-word stories for First Friday Fix, but I still missed the writing routine and adrenaline rush of Furious Fiction, so I decided to attempt an informal and unofficial version, and the Writers' Centre kindly permitted me to promote it on Twitter. I drew a brief at random from the Writers' Centre's 2018 Furious Fiction archive and used the same competition rules to write my 500-word short story in 55 hours from 5 p.m. on Friday to midnight on Sunday. The selected brief from May 2018 specified the story had to begin with the phrase, a long time ago, include the words star, war, and force, or plurals, and feature something that flies. I deliberately avoided reading the winner or shortlisted entries for May 2018 because I didn't want them to influence my short story, although I enjoyed reading the stories afterwards. But the brief and its accompanying image, a fisheye lens photo of someone standing, staring up at the broad expanse of the Milky Way, had me thinking of a plot and setting that may or may not be far, far away. It may seem fanciful that the people endured poverty, floods, droughts, famines and war, and were happy. And yet, as COVID-19 has proved, there's something to be said for certainty, like fixed stars and furious fiction. I hope this episode has left you happy. You can read The People Were Happy and all my short stories, blog posts and other writing at tallandtrue.com. You can also buy my short story collections from the Amazon Kindle and Kobo online bookstores. Links are available in the show notes. The next episode of Tall and True Short Reads will be in your podcast feed shortly. In the meantime, don't forget to check your feed or the podcast website, tallandtrueshortreads.com, for earlier episodes from seasons 1 and 2. And follow or subscribe to the podcast and rate and review it via your favourite app. Doing so helps me share my writing and spread the happiness with other listeners. Please remember you can support this podcast by making a regular or one-off donation via the Acast supporter page. You'll find a link in the show notes. And finally, please tell your family and friends about Tall and True Short Reads and the Tall and True Writers website.